What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a minute since I've made a video. Yes, I have been trading, and I'm going to break down all the trades that I took this week in a different video, but today we're going to break down how I made $118 trading TQQQ on today's Friday, July 11th. But first, ooh, fire. Absolutely fire. But I'm going to break down today's trade, and then in a later video, I'll be going over all the trades I took this week. Unfortunately, but at the same time, fortunately, it was a break-even week this week, and I'll explain exactly why later in this video, but we're going to go over this trade real quick. So the trade that I took today was on TQQQ. It was based on watching QQQ. First thing I did, everybody knows, if you've seen one of these videos before, what you're supposed to do. Mark out 15-minute high, mark out 15-minute low on QQQ. I have not been trading like IWM or SPY, but I have been looking at them just as an idea for what price should do. So what I wanted to do was on QQQ, what I wanted to see was a break and close outside of this 15-minute range. That's typically what I'm looking for, or I'm looking for the 15-minute shadow supply candle setup. If you don't know what that is, go watch one of the previous videos. I break it down in that. But clearly, today we did not get the shadow supply within this area for that bounce up. But the one thing I did notice, and the reason I took the trade, was simply because after we created our 15-minute range, we rejected the top of it, and we found support immediately off of the bottom of it. One thing I noticed was the overnight highs right here on, I don't know which session exactly this would have been, like Asia or whatever, but I don't know. These overnight highs right here, it looked like price wanted to come up and take those highs with this opening print right here on this 5-minute. It looked like price wanted to come up, take those highs, which are all the way up here, and then begin to reverse. So once I saw us reject right here and then go down, find support, and immediately bounce back up, I've seen this play out like so many times now, and this is where like market experience comes into play, is that I've seen this play out so many times to the point where I knew where price was going to go next, and I just took my entry, set my risk management, put my risk management in place, and that was it. And then I just rode the trade up. So this is exactly what I saw, and I could have made or had a better entry for sure. Actually, we go to the 2-minute. You can see on the 2-minute, here's those highs up here, and we're just going to mark them out so that way you guys can see where these highs are and basically what I was aiming for. I'll mark them out in blue. So if we look on the 2-minute, boom, we rejected right here, found support immediately right here. After this candle, once this candle formed, I'm like, all right, I think I'm going to get in, because there's no reason that price should have rejected that hard and then immediately bounced like just like that. And if we're still below this high that we just created, I know if we bounce back up this hard, that price is going to want to go up to the next area of liquidity and take that liquidity before moving down. And as you can see, like, the market's still going. That's literally what's happening right now. But let's go to TQQQ. I'll show you exactly where I entered. I entered here. My entry price was $83.54. I bought 200 shares at 83.53.97, 83.54 basically. And I actually set my stop at the bottom of this candle. And then I just ran basically a 1-to-1. It's not exactly a 1-to-1. It's a little bit more than that is what it shows. But it's basically a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And all I was aiming for were these highs right up here. And basically a decent push past that would have been a solid exit for me. Now, once we made it up here, we actually started like slowly grinding up. So I actually sold half of it once we reached my first profit target, which was the top of this. And then the other half, I sold like, 20 cents higher? Yeah, 20 cents higher than that. So overall, pretty solid trade. But the reason that I took that trade, right, if I can just break this down for you, like the reason I took that is because I've seen it happen over and over again. And then I don't know if there's any other confirmation. No, there isn't necessarily any other confirmation like on SPY or anything like that. Or maybe IWM. Not really. But you can see here on QQQ, just seeing it over and over again, watching price do this and watching it happen, I knew that it wanted to go up and take these highs simply because of how we reacted. We had a reject at the top of the 15-minute orb and then an immediate support at the bottom of the 15-minute orb. And I'll show you where you could have technically entered for a better entry. If you go down to the 1 minute and you really have some solid conviction, as soon as this candle closed right here, this candle closed above this one, and this was your previous high on the 1 minute, you could have easily you could have entered right there and set your stop below here. And then you could have just rode this thing up. You could have gotten an even better entry. That would have been an absolutely insane trade if I would have taken that, but I was technically a little bit late to it, but I was trading on the 2 minute, so I was pretty much just waiting for this candle right here. Now, on the 2 minute, we did not get a break structure. We did get a close above this fair value gap right here. If you draw that over, we did get a close above that fair value gap, but that's not even really the reason I took this. I literally took this truly based off of just like previous market knowledge of where exactly the market wants to go if we're going to form, price action that looks exactly like this. A reject at the high, immediate support, break of structure, boom. Like, that is just like, I don't know how else to put it, but that's exactly how I took the trade today. And that's how I made $118. And yes, it is a break-even week this week. And the reason for that is because typically on most of my trades, I've been running a 1-to-1 risk-to-reward ratio. And some of these, the first 2 trades that I took this week, ended up being the full 1-to-1 loss. Now, typically, I'm not selling at the full 1-to-1 loss because I can see in the market where the market wants to go before it actually hits my full stop loss. So I'll either stop myself out early or I'll sell off half the position or something like that, minimize my losses. But this week I just stuck straight to the plan and I actually held them to the actual stop loss. So this week, this trade right here put me exactly at break even for the week. So I'm not mad about it, to be honest. It just shows that each week is not exactly going to be the same. And it also shows that as long as you're consistent with your strategy, right, and just following your plan, that over the long run, you're going to get results. So if I would have crashed out, let's say the first two losses this week, Monday and Tuesday, I took 2 losses, or a loss each day, my bad, right? And I started the week off red, like $230. And if I would have let that just get to me and then started over trading on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and just tried, getting that money back as best as I could, then I would have lost even more money. But instead, I took a step back. I actually sized down a little bit, and then I just took trades based on the plan. And that's it. All I did was follow the plan, and the rest is history. So that's really all you need to do is follow the plan. And hopefully you guys learned something from this video, and hopefully you can apply it to your own trading. But with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video.